Hello everybody, welcome. Today's episode is going to be on welding practice, more spot welding practice in particular. And I'm potentially, we'll see how far we get, but I may actually try making some beads as well. You'll see what these are if you watch the video. This is a different helmet to the one I've been using, and I bought this today because I was actually having a play last night with the spot welding again, definitely improving, but the helmet stopped working, and I knew this because when I would go to hit the electrode against the metal and spark my arc, the dark vision wasn't activating. So basically that's the purpose of this, is to protect your eyes. So it already has a level of shade on it, which is why I'm still able to see today. But you really need that dark vision to be activating to really fully protect your eyes. However, I wasn't fully convinced, so I tried it quite a lot of times, which I probably shouldn't have done, but lesson learned. Yeah, so we got a new helmet. This one's a bit more expensive. I got it today from a place called Machine Mart. Unfortunately, it doesn't look as cool because it hasn't got fucking lightning bolts on it. So if there is any artists out there that want to help with that, I'm going to be super excited to work with you to get this looking super snazzy. Or maybe I'll just put some like words on it of affirmation that I like. I'm not 100% sure yet. So I'm going to work out how to get this baby set up. I'm actually going to read the instruction manual like a very good boy. And then, yeah, I'm going to go get set up outside and we can do spot welding again and see if I can make any improvements. So yeah, let's go. Right, I'm learning some fairly cool stuff about this helmet right now, but I'm thinking, you can see it flashing. I'm thinking rather than going into detail now, when this video is meant to be about practicing my spot welding, I'll leave that for another video, so I can do a little bit of education on it. But I might wait just for my knowledge to settle a bit more, and so that when I create the video, I'm sort of sharing the whole thing rather than getting to the end of it and then be like, oh no, like a month later, I'm like, oh shit, I should have added this. So that's my thinking for now. But yeah, the helmet is definitely better than the one I had before, although it's not better looks wise because I really like my lightning bolt, but there you go. So yeah, I've had a look at not the whole thing, but I know what I need to know for now. So I'm gonna go get set up and we're gonna do some spot welding. Let's go. Okay, we're back. I've got things set up. The welding machine's not currently on, and just to recap, we're gonna be practicing spot welding. So I'm just going to purely focus on spots for now, and then maybe later we'll do some beads. I've also got some little bits of metal that I've been accumulating, some from on a site I've been working on and some from skips. So I may even try doing some spot welds to attach these to the metal, and then I'll just chop it off later. Again, this is all just practice for now. Nothing needs to be perfect, but I do want to start getting an idea of my spots and how they're looking. What am I noticing? Is it a good spot weld? Is it not? Why is it not? How can I correct that kind of thing? Because you know, it's all well and good just, you know, going at it, but I need to have an idea of what I'm progressing to. So yeah, I've got a bit of an idea of what the spot weld should look like, and I have an idea of some of like the things that we don't want, so like spat as an example. So once I've had a go at this, I'll record the video and then we can have a little look together and see what we think. Also, I recommend wearing a t-shirt or some kind of protective gear, something that's burn proof or flammable proof preferably. I'm not doing that because apparently I need to hurt myself before I learn my lesson. I'm also just being lazy, so don't do this at home. I don't recommend it. If I burn myself, I'm probably going to cry. I probably won't cry, but I will go, and then I'll be like, right, okay, I'm gonna go get a top. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, so that's turned off now. That was interesting. And I do think I'm starting to make some progress with the learning. Just by playing with it, you can start just to get a feel for what's right and what's wrong. And a lot of these spots are not looking great, but I'm starting to get a feel for like how when I've struck the arc and it's burning, the rod it starts to go down. Obviously it's a consumable item, so as I'm I don't know where I put the rods, but as it's melting away, obviously I then need to get a bit closer, and there's a certain distance that's like really good, and you kind of want to maintain that distance. So it's going to take a lot of practice to get used to that. And when you don't maintain that proper distance, I believe you can get things like spatter. Now I'll show you what spatter is, because it's very common in my welds at the moment. So spatter is basically all these little bits of metal that are flying off. And really you just want nice spots and no spatter. So you can see I've got a lot of spatter on mine. I have done some nice ones, like that one's not too bad. Some okay ones on there. And some of them are quite juicy at the bottom, but that's because I was just playing with getting an idea for how long I can go with it and the right amount of space and things like that. In terms of progress, I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with getting the arc going. And I would say I feel like I've made progress on just like getting used to, okay, this is a consumable item. As I've struck the arc, it is disappearing. So what I really want to do now is start to get an idea for the right amount of time for each spot weld, and to get like a nice, to get a nice spot, and then also to get an idea of, well, to continue practicing how long I need to, well, how do I describe it? How I need to basically move it closer. So there's a few things that are going on. There's like the duration of the striking the arc, getting it originally struck. There's then getting from there into the correct distance. And then once you found the correct distance, it's then moving it toward, like bringing it down so that you maintain that correct distance. And therefore you can reduce the amount of spatter and get really nice clean spot welds. So what I'm probably going to do now is I'm probably going to get all of that off. I'll probably take a picture, but yeah, I'll grind all that off and then we'll go again. So before I move on, actually, I just wanted to show you, I've knocked some of the slag off now. So the slag is this stuff that encapsulates it, and you can see where I've broken it off. Now these are actually looking a lot nicer. If you can remember back to the first video, the welds were like very much like sat on top, whereas you can see these ones are penetrated deeper, and especially these ones here are really nice. That's where I've given it the right amount of time. If you don't give it the proper amount of time, it will just sit very much on top and it won't get good penetration. That one right there is probably the best one. This one here, you can see the little black dots in it. That's actually slag inclusion, so that's something that we don't want to see, but that's something we can correct at a later date. But to see that one there, that one's so nice. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. And the reason for that actually getting better penetration isn't just because I've been holding it for longer, which is appropriate. I've also got the amperage up now, so the amperage is on 110, whereas before I was working at 70. So I think 110 is the max for these rods. So I'm going to keep working at 110. I'm going to practice getting those specific welds where it's nice, penetrated, nice and nicely formed, not too odd looking, and nice little spots. So I'm gonna, as I say, sand all this off, give it another go. Right, well, the metal's all nice and clean up now, so I'm gonna go for round 2, and just gonna grab that with that. So this is me just setting up the grounding cable now. And you can really attach that grounding cable to any piece of metal around you. I say any piece of metal. I don't know that for sure, but I know for certain mild steel you can connect it to. But apparently it's much better to connect it to your piece of work. So this is my piece of work, so that's why we're connecting it to that. We've got some more rods here as well. So I bought a few out with me today. And I thought this was pretty cool as well. My electrode holder, it actually has, I don't know if you can see, if I try to open it up a bit, my wrists are very weak at the moment. You can kind of see that there's little grooves there, which helps you to find that perfect angle. So we can get this stuck in at the 90-degree angle. And there we go, locked in place. So I'm gonna get the gear on now. We're gonna do a time lapse again. And I'm gonna really try see if I can get some lovely little spot welds. I have a better idea now. 3 to 4 seconds, I think. I've got the amps up, and now it's just really practicing that distance, I think. And then creating that correct distance, and then continuing to have that correct distance throughout each weld. So let's give it a go. Okay, so I would say that is my honest 5th attempt now, and I'm really happy with the progress. I've got to show you some of these spots. Like there's 5, well, I'd say there's like 4 in a row there that are looking really nice, and there's some big juicy spots on the way down. So what I was finding a lot before was I was making tiny little spots. And that's because I wasn't, basically the arc sparks for so long, and you need to keep it nice, as close as appropriate. And if it goes out of that range, the arc will stop. So I've been learning to get that arc continuously going, so it's welding as long as it needs to create the like as big of a spot as it is like I'm desiring. So it's going to be cool to be able to like line up both pictures, I guess, of my first ones and these. But let me just show you these 4. Like when you first start, like when it's cold and you get it started, that's why I'm finding like I need to get more practice with that. But that's all I'm doing right now, is just literally practicing, and you can already see like I'm getting loads better. So I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna knock the slag off now, and then I'm going to brush it up, and we're going to have a look at a couple of these and just see how well they're penetrating. Honestly, look at these. Like that one, look at that one right there. They are looking hella clean. I mean, they're not looking hella clean, but they're looking clean. They're looking really good. I'm not the slag off all of them, I've just done it on a select few. There's a couple more that are quite nice. So this is really what I was looking for. Also, I wear the goggles whilst I'm knocking the slag off, because slag can still be very hot, and if you get it in your eye, oh my gosh, not a good thing. You gotta be so careful with this. Like, eyes are so important, which is why a lot of people don't want to weld, or and it's also why it's very high paying, because it's so bloody dangerous. So you really do have to be careful. But if you are careful, then you're sound. It's just like walking by the side of the road. If you're not careful walking by the side of the road, you can get run over. Road sides are very dangerous. Cars can kill people, but as long as you're safe and you walk on the pavement, you're pretty much sound. So yeah, I'm looking at these and I'm really happy with them. I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm feeling good with that. I feel like I'm done with practicing on the spots today. I'm gonna try maybe doing some beads next, and I'll show you what that is. So I'll tell you just actually, the bead is like a line. So I've not watched any video on how to do this at this point. I've seen a couple people do it on Instagram, but I've not watched any I've not seen it from my course or anything like that. So I'm gonna have a go, see if I can do some beads. First I'll have to get all this off. But yeah, I'm so happy with some of those little spots. They're looking so good. Saying that, this video is gonna be titled Spot Welding Practice. So I'm gonna leave it there, and then in the next video we can practice doing some beads. And then at some point I'll come back and do some more on this. I mean, I'll probably play with it in my own time, and then there'll be like a little update video in the future. And I don't literally need to record everything. But I do want to give you like an idea of my progression, so you can really see like all of it. But like, yeah, to record all of it would be just a bit tough. Yeah, and maybe I'm just a bit lazy as well, because my phone's on 5%. So, and I can't be arsed wearing a top. By the way, I didn't get burnt, so we're all good. But yeah, I thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, stay tuned, plenty more to come.